following is a feature presentation of the Replay Sports Channel, the home for great games.
The stakes are higher, the pressure is greater, and only 8 teams remain in the hunt for the Pantheon Bowl. From the St. Louis Battlehawks, the Denver Gold, to the DC Defenders, Birmingham Americans, Chicago Fire, New Jersey Hitmen, San Diego Fleet, and Arizona Wranglers. Royal Retros has the classic replica jerseys that let you represent your team all postseason long. Authentic designs, timeless style, built for the fans who live every snap, every tackle, and every unforgettable playoff moment. Who will advance? Who will keep their championship dreams alive? Whatever happens this weekend, wear the legacy. Order your favorite team's replica jersey today from Royal Retros and get ready for the WFL Divisional Round playoffs this weekend on the Replay Sports Channel. Royal Retros, classic football style, never goes out of fashion. By tonight, only 4 teams will remain in the championship chase. The road to the Pantheon Bowl continues as Divisional Sunday arrives on Replay Sports Channel. Will the St. Louis Battlehawks continue their magical run as they travel to New Jersey? Can Aaron Glenn win his first playoff game as a head coach? Later out west, Derrick Henry and the Denver Gold try to solve Josh Allen and the top-seeded San Diego Fleet. 2 games, 4 teams, 2 conference championship spots on the line. This is WFL Divisional Sunday. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Replay Sports Channel coverage of the 2025 WFL Divisional Playoffs. I'm your host, Glenn Walker, and today we have 2 outstanding matchups with conference championship berths on the line. Our early game takes us to FalconCorp Stadium in East Rutherford, where the 4th-seeded St. Louis Battlehawks travel east to face the 2nd-seeded New Jersey Hitmen in what will be the first postseason meeting between these 2 historic franchises. Then tonight we head to Southern California as the 6th-seeded Denver Gold, fresh off their upset of Las Vegas, battle the top-seeded San Diego Fleet. 2 winners move on, but 2 seasons come to an end. And we'll start with the American Conference. Since the WFL changed to the current playoff format back in 2000, the number 2 seed has dominated these matchups, winning 12 of 16 games against the 4 seed. History also favors St. Louis in this rivalry. The Battlehawks lead the all-time series 16 wins to 9 and have won the last 3 meetings, although these teams haven't faced one another in 4 years. But today, something is entirely new. The first playoff meeting between the Battlehawks and the Hitmen. As we take a look at our team comparison screen here, some things jump out at you. First of all, New Jersey, number 1 defense in points allowed. On average, they only allow 16.6 points scored. And for St. Louis, who absolutely dominated Baltimore last week, they get some great news. Their starting quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, is back from his turf toe injury. He'll be coming in for Cooper Rush, who had a great game last week, 22 of 28, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a 37-11 victory. Ramondre Stevenson ran for 155 yards, and free agent wide receiver Rashee Rice joined the team and exploded for 132 receiving yards, and the Battlehawks looked like a completely different football team. Across the sideline, we have the New Jersey Hitmen. They came from Toronto last season and are now in New Jersey, and they call New Jersey home. They won the league championship back in 2021. Today marks the first playoff appearance since 2023, and it's also the first postseason for new head coach Aaron Glenn. Justin Herbert leads the attack at quarterback, 3,282 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, but just 7 interceptions, and a 103.6 quarterback rating. Joe Mixon at running back also helps gives the Hitmen balance, and Cam Little has been one of the best kickers in football this season. Defense, they're second overall. Total defense, second against the pass, second in red zone defense. And the team just doesn't give opponents easy points. And we'll talk more about the history between these teams, but now let's head on out to the field for kickoff. .33 degrees, slight wind here at FalconCorp Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, as the Chicago Fire awaits the winner of this one. New Jersey will receive the kickoff. And we're underway. And Bass's opening kickoff goes through the end zone for the touchback. Justin Herbert will lead the offense. Mixon the lone running back. Brown, Robinson, and Bateman are the wide receivers. Likely is the tight end. Hitch pass to Mixon to start things off with. Pass is incomplete. Offensive line, Morse at center, Lindstrom, Brown at guard, Wright, and Brown at tackle. Second down. Screen pass to Mixon complete. Has some daylight, finally brought down at the 36. A first down for New Jersey. Battlehawks operating out of the 4-3. We'll give them that starting lineup in just a moment. Handoff to Nixon, left side, gets near the 39, a pickup of 3. Foskey and Walker are the defensive ends. Kinlaw and Tillery are the defensive tackles. Henley, Greenard, and Owe are the linebackers. Nixon with the short pass. He's finally tackled near the 50. Another first down for New Jersey, and they are on the move. Murphy, Arnold are the cornerbacks. Branch and Bates are the safeties. Pennock will be the nickelback. Pitch left to Mixon. He's into St. Louis territory and a pickup of 8. Hitmen on the move here in the opening drive of this game. Pass to Robinson, complete at the St. Louis 35. Finally tripped up after a pickup of 10. Herbert has been outstanding this year, over 3,282 passing yards. This one's a bad throw. Incomplete, that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Only 7 interceptions in an entire season. Coming off a dismal 2024. Hands off on 2nd and 10. He's met immediately by Grenard behind the line of scrimmage, and it'll bring up 3rd and 11. Up-tempo pace here for the Hitmen. Back to pass with time over the middle. We're going to have a penalty flag here. And it will be holding on Toronto. It'll bring up 3rd and 21. Our referee for today's game is John Hussey. Another penalty flag. It'll be a false start on the offense. So it moves him back near midfield. Brings up 3rd and 26. Need to get to the St. Louis 22. Herbert in trouble, forced to scramble to the 50, the 40. Finally brought down at the 35. They are in Little's range. He's going to try for a 53-yard attempt to put some points on the board. Long enough and good. So with 9:12 left to go, New Jersey strikes first. And that one will go through the end zone for a touchback. Tua Tagovailoa back at quarterback after being out for several weeks with the turf toe injury. He'll go back to pass on first down over the middle to Tutu Atwell near the 35. He picks up the first down. Tagovailoa at quarterback. Stevenson will be the lone running back. Johnson, Rice, and Atwell the wide receivers. They're without Devontae Smith and Puka Nacua, both of them still injured. Working out of the pistol on first down. Tagovailoa back to pass. Checks down to Stevenson at the 40, tackled immediately. Thuney, Matthews are the tackles. Scruggs and Reed are the guards. Froholt is at center. Brings up 2nd and 7, ball at the St. Louis 40. Handoff to Stevenson up the middle, and he is met at the 41. It'll bring up 3rd and 6. New Jersey operating out of the 3-4. Tagovailoa back to pass, has to check down to Stevenson again. He's finally caught and dropped for a gain of 2. So St. Louis is forced to punt. Punt is away, and fair catch signal for by Duvernay at the 8. 6:40 to go in the first quarter. The Hitmen lead at 3-0. They'll start from their own 8-yard line. Herbert pitches left to Mixon, trying to get around the end and finally tiptoes along the near sideline and run out of bounds at the 16. Brings up 2nd and 2. Hand off to Mixon up the middle. He's got the first down and finally brought down at the 20. Very fast-moving first quarter. Mixon, 653 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns this season. He's getting a lot of carries so far this season. Picks up 23, a gain of 3 yards. Brings up 2nd and 7. Give to Mixon. Nope, it's going to be a reverse. Robinson is caught behind the line of scrimmage. Wan'Dale Robinson, they tried him on the reverse and it didn't work. It'll bring up 3rd and 13. With time, Herbert over the middle to Likely, the tight end. He's got the first down. And New Jersey will be forced to punt. Kicked away cleanly. Gainwell catches it at the 34. Well, punt of 49. 3 minutes, 3 seconds left. The Hitmen lead at 3-0. And it's interesting to note about these two quarterbacks. Both of them were drafted in 2021. Herbert taken with the 3rd overall pick. He's from Oregon. Tagovailoa was the 7th overall pick from Alabama. And then their paths went into a little bit of a different direction. From 2021 to 2023, Tagovailoa mainly backed up Kirk Cousins, who led them to the Pantheon Bowl 21 championship in 2022. And career-wise, Tagovailoa, 895 completions, 1,340 attempts, 9,383 yards, 69 touchdowns. Herbert, 2021 Rookie of the Year, took the Hitmen to Pantheon Bowl 20. They won the game, and he was named the game's MVP. He has 1,790 completions, 2,732 attempts, 18,236 yards, and 122 touchdowns. So St. Louis will start their second drive. Tagovailoa operating out of the gun. Penalty flag. And it's a false start on St. Louis. Karlaftis, Granderson are the defensive ends. Jones, the nose tackle. Key and McDuffie are the outside linebackers. Robertson's the middle linebacker. Swing pass to Johnson at the 20. Finally hit at the 30. Surtain, McMillan are the cornerbacks. Bullock and Murray are the safeties. Stevenson will be the nickelback. 2nd and 8 coming up from the St. Louis 30. Handoff to Stevenson around the left side, met by Bullock after a gain of 2. It'll bring up 3rd and 6. Winner goes to Chicago next week for the conference championship. All time to throw, but nobody to throw it to. Tagovailoa checks down to Stevenson, and he picks up the first down at the 39. Minute and a half to go. Hitmen lead at 3-0. Tagovailoa, screen pass to Stevenson. Near side, he's to the 40, the 50. Finally brought down by Roberts at the 49, another first down. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Tagovailoa to pass. Checks down to Stevenson again. Nothing open downfield. And a pickup of 16 yards. Stevenson has already caught 5 passes for 40 yards, and that will be the final play of quarter number 1. Between the Battlehawks and the Hitmen lead at 3-0. You're watching the divisional playoffs on the Replay Sports Channel. Don't forget, later today we have Denver, San Diego in our National Conference divisional playoff. 1st and 10, St. Louis on a drive. They're at the New Jersey 33. Tua, draw play to Stevenson, right side. Pick up a couple of yards, spun down at the 31. Bring him 2nd and 8. Tua back to pass. Finds Rice for his first catch at the 20. Finally hit out of bounds at the 17. 1st and 10. St. Louis on the move. Rice's first catch after that brilliant game last week. Tua to pass. Finds Atwell at the 5, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, St. Louis. So the point after attempt by Bass is good. And Tua showing no signs of rust from the weeks off from the turf toe injury. Kickoff sails out of the end zone for a touchback. We were mentioning the Hitmen players a little bit earlier. Justin Herbert, we mentioned his season. Over 3,000 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, and a very good quarterback rating. Joe Mixon, his season, helping balance the run with the pass. Wan'Dale Robinson, the leading wide receiver for the Hitmen, 67 catches, 719 yards, 7 touchdowns. And Cam Little, what a season he's had. Perfect on extra points. And he netted a 60-yard field goal earlier this season. New Jersey, winners of the Eastern Division and number 2 seed. 1st and 10 from their own 25. Handoff to Mixon, right side, and he's met immediately by Walker at the 24. It'll be a loss of 1. 2nd and 11, working from the gun. Delayed draw to Mixon. He's to the 30 and finally wrestled out of bounds after a gain of 7. Mixon, 8 carries for 31 yards. Brings up 3rd and 4. Back to pass. Over the middle. Completes to Robinson. It's a first down at the 38. Both teams moving the ball very well here early. 2 tight end formation. Handoff to Mixon. Gets around the defensive tackle. Bounces outside near midfield. pushed out of bounds at the St. Louis 48. First down, New Jersey. Working quickly. Handoff to Mixon. Seeing a lot of him today. Bounces to the 40. Finally hits out of bounds at the 36. 10 carries, 57 yards for Joe Mixon. Handoff again to Mixon. He's to the 30, 25. Finally stopped at the 21. First and 10. Under 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. Handoff to Mixon, and he is stopped after a 1-yard gain. It'll bring up 2nd and 9. Working out of the gun. Herbert with time over the middle to Bateman at the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, New Jersey. And New Jersey retakes the lead. Little with the point after, and with 8:20 left to go, New Jersey leads at 10-7. Little's kickoff goes through the end zone for a touchback. As we mentioned, Tua Tagovailoa back from the turf toe injury. Threw for 2,658 yards this season, 23 touchdowns. Passer rating just a little bit over 100. Ramondre Stevenson, the main weapon of the ground attack, 703 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns last week in the game against Baltimore. Carried the ball 22 times for 155 yards and a score. Sam Laporta, the tight end, 67 receptions, 744 yards, 6 touchdowns. And on defense, the outside linebacker, Jonathan Grenard, 8 sacks. He helps lead the league's 3rd-ranked defense, and he was selected to the WFL All-Star team. 8:20 to go until halftime. We have a very close game between the Battlehawks and the Hitmen, playing in their first ever postseason game against each other. Tua operating from the shotgun. Changing the play at the line. Back to pass. Heavy rush coming up. Picked up. Throws downfield to Johnson inside the 40. With some running room, finally tackled at the St. Louis 49. .33 degrees and clear here in New Jersey as the pass is incomplete. Flag on the play, holding on St. Louis. That'll back them up to the St. Louis 39. Halfway through the second quarter. Tua with time. He's going to have to check down to Stevenson. And Stevenson picks up 5, tackled at the 44. Brings up 3rd and a long 15. Empty backfield behind Tua. Checks down to Stevenson again and tackled immediately by McDuffie, and it'll bring up 4th and punting situation. Gets the punt away, and that's going to go into the end zone for a touchback. 6 minutes left in the first half. Hitmen lead it 10-7. Herbert finds Robinson, but he can't hang on. He's saying he was interfered with, but no call forthcoming. Brings up 2nd down. Handoff to Mixon. And he'll pick up a couple. 3rd down coming up. Back to pass. Handoff to Mixon. Close to the first down, but he won't pick it up. So 3 and out go New Jersey. Aaron Glenn coaching in his first playoff game as a head coach. He was an assistant with Las Vegas last year, and a former player. We'll talk about a little bit more about that later. 1st and 10 from the St. Louis 23. Tua, delayed handoff to Stevenson. Gets to about the 25. He'll mark at the 26, pickup of 3. Passing on 2nd down, looking for Stevenson, who dives for it. Can't come up with the catch. It'll bring up 3rd down. 3rd and 7. Pass over the middle to Rashee Rice. He's got the 1st down. Pickup of 9. Tua back to pass. Pressure coming up the middle. He's hit. Fumble. And Toronto comes up with the ball. So Tua hit, fumble. McDuffie picks it up. They'll start from the St. Louis 13. So big turnover here against St. Louis. Handoff to Mixon. He'll be stopped at the 14. 2.5 minutes to go. Operating from the gun. 3 wide receivers set. Complete to Bateman at the 6. 5. Touchdown. And the Hitmen looking to go up by 10. Little's point after is good. So taking advantage of Tua's fumble, the Hitmen increase their lead. Gainwell with a nice return. St. Louis sets up shop at their own 30. They trail by 10. Back to pass. Tua fires for Atwell, but the pass is incomplete. 2:02 left. Next play will officially be at the 2-minute warning. Delay handoff to Stevenson. He's to the 30, 40. Finally dropped at the 44. 2-minute warning in our divisional playoff game here on the Replay Sports Channel. At halftime, a quick recap of the game that you're watching, and then, of course, a preview of our game later today between Denver and San Diego. St. Louis has the ball. They're at their own 44. 1:53 left. 2 timeouts remain. 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers set for St. Louis. Tua calling the signals. Back to pass. Fires to Atwell near midfield. Tackled inbounds. A pickup of 5. Tua 14 of 16, 136 yards. Chip Kelly, the head coach, calls a timeout. Clock stops with 1:48. Handoff to Stevenson. Barely gets into New Jersey territory. St. Louis will use their last timeout. 3rd and 3 coming up. Delay draw to Stevenson, and he's close to the 1st down. He's given the 1st down by the officials, but they need to hurry. No timeouts, less than 90 seconds to go. Penalty flag. And it's going to be an offensive false start. Move the ball back 5 yards to the St. Louis 49. Trips left. 2 running backs. Tua with time. Hit as he throws the ball. Dumps it to Steven and incomplete. Clock stops with 1:16. Tua to pass again. Penalty flag thrown. Downfield. Intercepted by McMillan, but it's not going to count. Defensive encroachment. Minute 9 left. 2nd and 10. Back to pass. Tua checks down to Stevenson. Trying to get out of bounds. Steps out the 43. Stevenson has caught 8 passes already in this game. A minute 6, 3rd and 7. Tua looking, trying to find somebody open, and it's incomplete, intended for Gainwell. St. Louis will punt. St. Louis will get the ball back to start the 3rd quarter. Punt is away, and it will be downed at the 4. Can't imagine Toronto trying anything risky here. Handoff to Mixon up the middle, gets to near the 10, pickup of 6. Now they'll let the clock run. Mixon, 16 carries for 81 yards so far in this game. Herbert's going to pass. Intended for Brown, incomplete. Stops the clock with 23 seconds. 3rd and 4. Ball at the New Jersey 10. Delay draw to Mixon. He's going to be stopped at the 8, and they're going to let the clock run. Or they send the punting team out. They are going to punt. I thought they were going to let the clock run, but no, they're going to punt it. And this should be, nope, there's a penalty flag. They're going to get one more. There's 1 second left. St. Louis is going to run one more play. So they line up. Tua, maybe going to throw this one deep. Nope, he's going to draw play to Gainwell. This is the 40, 45, and that will be the end of the first half. So the Hitmen, 30 minutes away from a date in Chicago with the #1 ranked Chicago Fire, but the Battlehawks still have time. They trail 17-7 here in the American Conference Divisional Playoff. Being brought to you courtesy by the Replay Sports Channel. Well, we've reached halftime in our game. The Hitmen lead at 17-7 as we take a look at the first half statistics. Net offense between both teams, 171 yards for St. Louis, 165 for New Jersey. Time of possession, slight edge to the Hitmen, 17 minutes, 44 seconds, 12 minutes, 16 seconds to St. Louis. The turnover by Tua, he was sacked, fumbled the ball. That was a huge turning point, I think, in the game so far. We look at the individual statistics here. Tua Tagovailoa, 15 of 19, 139 yards, 1 touchdown. Herbert, just 7 of 11, 79 yards, does have the 2 touchdowns. Ramondre Stevenson has run the ball 7 times for 27 yards. He's their leading receiver. He's caught the ball 8 times. Tua's had to check down or throw screens. Nothing open. Coach Aaron Glenn has really put in some complex coverages there on those wide receivers. Again, St. Louis does not have their 2 regular starters, Devontae Smith, Puka Nacua, both out. Joe Mixon, 17 carries, 79 yards, and leading wide receiver for New Jersey is Wan'Dale Robinson with 3. So I think some halftime adjustments would be St. Louis has got to find a way to protect the quarterback and find a way to get the receivers open. And New Jersey, you cannot let off the gas pedal. They have to continue doing what they're doing for the next 30 minutes if they want to advance to the conference championship. And speaking of advancing, we have one other game to complete our Final Four, and that's going to be the Denver Gold taking on the San Diego Fleet. It's the top-seeded Fleet hosting the 6th-seeded Denver Gold. San Diego swept both regular season meetings, winning 36-3 in Week 6 and then 44-34 in Week 11. But Denver arrives with confidence after pulling off the upset last weekend over Las Vegas. Derrick Henry will feature in this game, led the league with 1,520 yards, 14 touchdowns. And of course, Denver will be going up against Josh Allen and that San Diego offense. Josh Allen this season, 3,099 yards, 22 touchdowns. But we'll have more on that game a little bit later. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe to the Replay Sports channel, where you'll get alerts on our games. We feature, in addition to football, we have baseball replays, hockey replays, basketball, soccer, golf. Oh my goodness, we have a lot of different sports. And we're doing a lot of football because we're in the playoffs, but we'll have some other sports coming up as well. Boxing, yeah, we even have boxing. So stay tuned. We're going to have the second half coming up here on the Replay Sports channel. Thank you so much for listening or watching, or however way you're consuming this game. We appreciate it. Cam Little tees the ball up to kick away to St. Louis as we start the third quarter. The Hitmen lead it 17-7. After the touchback, St. Louis starts on offense. A handoff to Stevenson. He's near the 30. Pick up a 4. Now bring up 2nd and 6. Three wide receiver set. Tua back to pass, looking downfield for Johnson, but broken up by Surtain. It'll bring up 3rd and 6. Back to pass. Intercepted. And going back is Stevenson. Stevenson with the interception return touchdown. And boy, that was not the way St. Louis wanted to start the second half. So Tua responsible for both turnovers, a fumble in the second quarter, and now a pick 6 here in the third quarter. So Stevenson officially a 37-yard interception return for a touchdown. Oh, we got to get that out of there. Second and 11. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. Sack and then a penalty. Let's see what happened. So they'll decline the penalty. It's 3rd and 18. And St. Louis, things are just going from bad to worse here for the Battlehawks. Tua in trouble, forced to scramble. He's to the 35. Tackled at the 36. 3 and out go the Battlehawks. And they're forced to punt it away. Duvernay to the 10, 15. And New Jersey will set up shop at their own 16. Herbert with the handoff to Mixon. Gets to about the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Brings up second down. Give to Mixon. Penalty flag. He stopped at the 21. Big holding on the offense. They'll move him back to the New Jersey 8. Second and 18 coming up. Herbert pitches right to Mixon. Getting around the end. Finally pulled down at the 21. Pick up a 13 yards. They'll bring up 3rd and 5. New Jersey just 1 of 5 on 3rd downs today. Herbert over the middle. Hindley dives for it but can't make the interception. And that'll bring up 4th down. So Gainwell with a nice little return. St. Louis start at their own 33, trying to get something going here after a disastrous start to the 3rd quarter. Tua checks down to Stevenson, gets across the 40, tackled at the 41. Bring up 2nd and 2. Under 10 minutes to go here, 3rd quarter. Hand off to Gainwell. He's across the 45, the 50. Breaks into New Jersey territory, finally stopped after a gain of 20. Ball be marked at the New Jersey 39. Working out of the gun. Tua back to pass. Looking. Completes it to Rice inside the 30. Pick up a 15, 1st down. Three wide receiver, 2 running back set. Tua looking. Fires incomplete. Now bring up 2nd and 10. Nearing the halfway point of the 3rd quarter. Tua looking to Rice across the middle. Tackled immediately after a gain of 4. 3rd and 6. Battlehawks really need to score here to keep this game competitive. Tua looking, fires over the middle to Rice, incomplete. He was double covered. They're going to settle for a field goal by Bass. This one will be from 38 yards. Good snap, hold, but it's off to the right. No good. So the Battlehawks come away with nothing. New Jersey starts from their own 28, 7:01 left in the 3rd quarter. Handoff to Mixon. He's across the 30. And he's finally stopped at the 34. First postseason between these two teams. St. Louis does lead the overall series 16-9. Last met week 13 of 2023. St. Louis won that game 33-27 in overtime when the Hitmen were based in Toronto. In that game, Tua Tagovailoa is 19 of 27, 270 yards, 3 touchdowns. Justin Herbert was 29 of 48, 219 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And what was interesting to note of that game, St. Louis trailed 27-13 at the start of the 4th quarter. Tagovailoa threw 3 second-half touchdowns, including the 62-yard game winner to wide receivers Zay Jones in overtime. Herbert has never won against St. Louis, so this is an interesting fact to consider, knowing that Tua did lead a comeback against this same Hitmen team. 6:53 to go. A spot in the conference championship on the line. 2nd and 4 coming up for New Jersey. Hand off to Mixon. Right side, close to the first down. He'll be a yard short. 20 carries, 88 yards for Mixon tonight. Third and 1. He gets the handoff, plows in the line, penalty flag. And he'll be short of the first down, and New Jersey will elect to punt here. Gainwell back to return. So after the return, ball be placed at the St. Louis 23. 5:22 left to go here, 3rd quarter. Tua Tagovailoa down 24-7, looking to lead St. Louis in a comeback. .522 left in the 3rd quarter. St. Louis from their own 23. Blitz. Tua fires over the middle. 1st down to Rice. A pickup of 23. Ball be placed at the St. Louis 46. Delayed draw to Stevenson up the middle, and he's hit immediately by Key. It'll be a loss of 1. Stevenson, 9 carries for 30 yards today. That'll bring up 2nd and 11. Handoff to Gainwell. Key again on the tackle, and another loss of 1. It'll bring up 3rd and 12. Obvious passing situation for the Battlehawks. Tua drifts to his right, throws, intercepted by McMillan. There's a penalty flag. It's offensive holding. It'll be declined. 1st and goal from the St. Louis 6. New Jersey could pretty much put this one away. Handoff to Mixon, and he's stopped near the 4. Pickup of 2. 2nd and goal. Tua with his 2nd interception of the night. Mixon handoff inside the end zone, touchdown. Point after attempt is good, and with 2:12 left to go in the 3rd quarter, New Jersey 31-7 over St. Louis. And it's beginning to look like number 1 versus number 2 seed next week. Gainwell with a good return to the St. Louis 36. Desperation time beginning now for St. Louis as they trail 31-7. Tua back to pass. Over the middle to Johnson at midfield. He's into New Jersey territory, finally brought down at the 43. St. Louis has to work quickly now. Tua over the middle, tipped by Murray at the last moment. Clock stops with 1:12. Tua back to pass, firing downfield, trying to reach Johnson in stride, but it's just out of reach. Brings up 3rd and 10. Tua blindsided by Granderson near midfield, and that'll bring up 4th and 19. Punting time for St. Louis. Just everything going wrong for the Battlehawks today. Duvernay back deep to return. He'll take it at his own 12. Finally stopped at the 25. Last play of the 3rd quarter, possibly, with 11 seconds left. Handoff to Mixon. He gets past the 25 and stopped at the 28. 15 minutes to go. New Jersey looks to be on their way to a conference championship. You're watching on Replay Sports Channel the divisional playoffs of the WFL.
This telecast is copyrighted by the WFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions or accounts of the game without the WFL's consent is prohibited.
New Jersey looking to go to their first conference championship since 2021. And St. Louis in danger of ending a streak of 3 straight conference championships. That streak looking to end today. Herbert under center, calling out the signals. He'll toss left to Mixon. Around the end, he's at the 35-40 penalty flag. Offensive holding, and that will deny Mixon getting over 100 yards temporarily. Ball back at the New Jersey 18. Herbert back to pass. Tries to flip one over to Mixon, but it's knocked away by Henley. It'll bring up 3rd and 17. Herbert checks down to Mixon at the 20, and he's stopped at the 22. Punting time for New Jersey. I keep calling them Toronto. They used to be the Toronto Hitmen. Stay with us post-game for the Replay Sports Channel player of the game. And again, after this game, we will have Denver at San Diego in the National Conference Divisional Playoff. 4 wide receivers, 1 running back for St. Louis. Tua checks down to Johnson near the 35, tackled by Surtain, pickup of 6. Tua to throw on 2nd and 4. Deflected by Surtain at the last moment. They'll bring up 3rd and 4. Over the middle to Rice, incomplete. And punting situation for St. Louis. New Jersey starts at their own 13. 13 minutes left in this one. Handoff to Mixon. 25th carry of the day. He stopped after a 1-yard gain. Short pass to Mixon. Gets near the 25. New Jersey had 5 players selected to the All-Star team. Mixon picks up the first down. Herbert was one of them. Lindstrom, the guard, was another one. As Mixon's just going off today, he finally reaches 100 yards in rushing. He should be a contender for player of the game. Herbert back to pass over the middle, looking for Likely, but he's covered by Branch. Cam Little, Pat Surtain II, and Kalen Bullock, rookie, all made the All-Star squad. Screen pass to Mixon at the 25. Gets to the 30 before being stopped there. Just a pickup of 1. On the other side of the ball, St. Louis had 9 players as New Jersey punts the ball away. Battlehawks led the American Conference with 9 players. named to the All-Star squad. 1st and 10 from their own 26, under 10 minutes to go. St. Louis desperate to try to get some scores on the scoreboard. Pass to Rice, incomplete. A run of 3 straight conference championship appearances, as that pass is deflected by Newton, will come to an end. 3rd and 10 coming up. Tua over the middle, and Atwell cannot make the catch. St. Louis will punt the ball away. This one will go out of bounds near the 30. They'll mark it out at the 32. 9:37 to go. And New Jersey fans have not left. They are celebrating. Mixon still in the game. 27 carries, 107 yards. This time, Herbert tries to check down to Mixon, but it's incomplete. Third and 8, delay handoff to Mixon. Gets near the 38, a gain of 4, bring up 4th down. Mixon's getting close to record territory here. No, I take that back. No, sorry. Never mind. Oh, high snap. And St. Louis is going to recover the ball at the New Jersey 4. So, first miscue by New Jersey today, as Stevenson gets the handoff and he races into the end zone, touchdown. So, hold the phone. St. Louis may not be out of this one yet, as Bass kicks the point after attempt. 7:42 left to go in this one. It's 31-14. It's a deep kickoff. They don't attempt the onside. Starting at their own 25. Pitch left to Mixon. And he's going to be hit in the backfield. Loss of 4. I was looking at rushing attempts, for playoff records for rushing attempts. Marshall Faulk had 38 back in 1996 in a game Denver had against the BC Cougars. So Mixon right now is at 29. 3rd and 7 coming up. Don't know if we'll see him get the 38 carries, but you never know. Herbert to pass. Checks down to Mixon. That'll be his 7th catch of the day, but it will bring up 4th down. 6:03 left to go. Gainwell back to catch it on the run near the 15. He'll signal fair catch. 5:25 left in this one. Tua tries to get it to Johnson, incomplete. 21 of 38, 216 yards, 2 interceptions and a fumble for Tua Tagovailoa. Tries to check down to Stevenson on that one, incomplete. Brings up 3rd down. Empty backfield. Passes to Atwell near the 30, but it's not going to be an... Oh, they did get the 1st down, so 10 yards, 1st down. I thought he was a little bit short there. Fresh set of downs for St. Louis. With time, over the middle to Johnson at the 35, penalty flag. And holding on the offense, that one's coming back. 5 penalties on the day for St. Louis, 5 for New Jersey. Tua Over the middle for Stevenson, incomplete. Clock stops with 4:45 left. Tua can't find Jones underneath, incomplete. We've really seen the Hitmen secondary put on a clinic here in this game. As the pass is deflected by McMillan, it'll bring up third down. I'm sorry, brings up fourth down. And St. Louis will be forced to punt this one away. Duvernay with a 7-yard return. New Jersey will start at their own 40, 4:25 left. Herbert to pass on first down. And Morse, the center, is being helped to the sideline. I imagine they try to get some of the starters out of the game because they have a big lead. So Reisner checks in at center after the penalty flag. 2nd and 15. Clock stops at 4:22. Herbert's going to pass again. Checks down to Brown. Pickup of 7. It'll bring up 3rd and 8. Passing on 3rd and 8 over the middle for Bateman. Incomplete. Closely guarded by Jesse Bates. And 4th down, and New Jersey will punt. Gainwell from his own 5 gets to the 10, finally pulled down at the St. Louis 12. 3:23 left to go. St. Louis finished the regular season 8-6. Tagovailoa forced to run, gets to about near the 20, slides down at the 19. Tied with Philadelphia for the same record. They had that brilliant game last week against Baltimore, but they'll fall short here today. Pass deflected by Surtain. 3rd down coming up. Clock stops with 2:48. And what can you say about New Jersey? They ended the regular season on a 5-game winning streak, and that streak's going to continue. Stevenson catches the pass, trying to get out of bounds, but he's going to be short of the first. 10 catches on the day, 4th and 3. St. Louis has no other option but to go for it here from their own 19. Checks down to Stevenson again, and no gain. They'll have to turn the ball over on downs. So 2:34 to go. New Jersey at the St. Louis 19. And Herbert's going to call his own number up the middle. And they're going to let the clock run to the 2-minute warning. So we're going to see New Jersey at Chicago. And it's interesting that Aaron Glenn, his playing days, he played for Chicago. They were an expansion team in the early 2000s. He was a cornerback for what was then known as the Chicago Blitz. Nixon will get the handoff. He has had a busy day today. On 3rd and 8, he got the carry, didn't get enough. Little will come on to kick a field goal to extend the lead. A 29-yard attempt is good. So with 28 seconds left, the Hitmen, it's all over but the shouting. They lead it by 20, 34-14. It's the kickoff sails through the end zone. Touchback. 28 seconds left to go in this one. Tua back to throw. Looking to go long. Incomplete. Intended for Atwell. Clock stops with 22 seconds left. 2nd and 10. Tua stepping up into the pocket to throw long, has Atwell in stride, but it's broken up at the last moment. 16 seconds left on the clock. 3rd and 10. With time, New Jersey only rushing 3. Pass downfield broken up by Bullock. 4th and 10, 10 seconds left. And this is probably going to be the last play. Hit as he throws. That one sails into the air. There was a holding penalty, but it will not. They pick up the first down on the pass. They only have time for one more play. Looking to go deep. Incomplete. And the game is over. So the New Jersey Hitmen advance to the conference championship. They win it 34-14. Your Replay Sports channel, player of the game, Joe Mixon. What a game he had today. 31 carries, 114 yards, 1 touchdown. He was just 7 carries away from tying a WFL playoff record set by Marshall Faulk back in 1996. So congratulations to the New Jersey Hitmen. They will be heading to the conference championship. They will face Chicago next week. We will have the time for that game once we know the winner of the Denver-San Diego game later today. So thank you once again for watching the WFL exclusively here on the Replay Sports channel. This has been Glenn Walker. Again, Denver, San Diego coming up next. We'll talk to you then.